guys, Tamara here. I am going to be doing a review of Forgive Me, Leonard Peacock by Matthew Quick. I listened to this one on audio. It was narrated by Noah Galvin. You know, right off, I've got to tell you, this is a very, very heavy subject matter. There's a lot of things going on in this book that are shocking, and just be aware. Be forewarned if you haven't read the book yet. If you're a young teen, I probably would stay away from this book. I would recommend this book for those maybe 14 and older. I would place this maybe 9th grade and older, and definitely adults. I think this would be a great book for parents to read with their kids and then talk about it after. Because while, I'm not, I don't like to get all preachy and stuff like that when I talk about books, but there are some lessons to be learned from this book. If you don't know what Forgive Me, Leonard Peacock is about, it's about Leonard. He turns 18, and on his 18th birthday, he packed 4 gifts for people who have meant something to him in his life, and his grandfather's gun. And he brings it to school with the intent of killing his ex-best friend and then himself. In this book, it takes you through it. I mean, while there is never an excuse for wanting to kill someone, or I'm not familiar with depression. I don't have experience with depression, but I do believe in this book, Leonard experiences a depression of sorts. He's definitely experienced abuse. He has parental neglect. He's been bullied. He's been through a lot. And like I said, that never excuses wanting to kill anyone, but it does bring some things to the front of your mind. They ways for like an alarm to sound when someone is experiencing certain things, and things that you can help someone with that might prevent the end result. I won't get into the meat and the meat of the story because it is a short book and it's a fast reading. You'll be able to get through it quickly. But when it's all said and done, somehow, some way, someone saves Leonard from himself. But not entirely. And by that I mean the end of the book is kind of I'm not sure what I think of the ending, because while yes, he did not kill the ex-best friend and he did not kill himself, nothing was resolved. When we find out what happens to him between him and his ex-best friend, it's really traumatizing, and you think that would need to be addressed. It needs to be addressed for him to be able to move on. But while he has some help, the main issue is kind of neglected. So I wonder if anything was really accomplished with the ending of the book, if you know what I mean. Yeah, it's a lot going on. One thing that I thought was interesting, there was these parts where he would read a letter from the future. It would be from the future people in Leonard's life. It would be his wife, his daughter, his father-in-law, these people that know him much later in life, and they write to him in present day. And at first I was a little thrown by the letters from the future. I wasn't really clear what was going on and why he was getting letters from the future. But soon enough, it was addressed and it was explained. I only wish that explanation had came a little bit sooner, so I wouldn't have been so thrown by the letter from the future, I guess. But it all ties in. It helps Leonard to see things in a different kind of way. That's the point of the letters from the future. And they were suggested to him by his teacher, one of the people who gets a gift from Leonard on this day that he plans on ending it all. So yeah, I mean, when I finished the book, I was, it was a little lackluster when I ended. I had these hopes that, said situation would get addressed and said person would get, sent away or reprimanded or something would happen, but it didn't. And when it was all said and done, I thought, wow, I wonder if that whole situation could have been averted had Leonard had someone to talk to, if he'd been able to tell his mother or father what had happened between him and the best friend. but because he couldn't, and because when he tried, his mother kind of looked the other way, or ignored what she saw, that kind of, it turned into this, like, I guess this big, as a snowball rolls down a hill and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And I feel like that's what happened. Like, while the event that, at the onset, the event that happened was very traumatic, all of the things that happened following that just made the situation worse and worse and worse. And I do feel that had he had a parent to help him at the onset of that situation, it would be a whole nother world. But again, this is fiction, so without that, Matthew Quick has no story. So yeah, so what do I rate Forgive Me, Leonard Peacock? I would rate this 4 out of 5 bookmarks. Again, it was a good read. It was a fast read. It definitely is not a feel-good book. It is something that will make you think. It gives you food for thought. And with all the crazy things happening on around the world right now, in our own backyard, like, things are happening every day with teenagers and suicide and homicide. It's crazy out there. But reading a book like this does, maybe it would help some people probably put a spin on, well, maybe you shouldn't bully someone, or maybe you should be more helpful instead of destructive with people. It makes you just think of things maybe that you might not have thought of before. So who do I recommend this book for? I definitely recommend this book for older teens, like I said, 9th grade and above. And I think it would be a great tool that would lead to awesome discussion between a parent and a teenager. There's nothing else more to it. I mean, it was good listening to. The narrator did a great job. But yeah, I mean, there's not much more I can say about the story without completely giving everything away. And you'd want to read it for yourself. You'd want to listen to it if you prefer audio, and find out what happened to Leonard and what chain of events occurred to bring him to this point where he was willing to kill someone and kill himself. That's it, guys. So anyway, if you've read this book and you feel like talking about it or venting about it or anything, just go ahead and do so in the comments. I'll try to reply. Maybe we can get a conversation going about responsibility or, community or whatever. I'm around. If you don't feel like commenting below, you can check me out on Twitter, Facebook, all those usual places. And until next time, happy reading as always, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.